has to be played because otherwise attack speed just not going to be a thing.
I mean, thankfully for Vasily, he's sort of pigeonholed into a lot of short-range carries in general, like his Graves, his Lucian. Siva, okay on, but obviously more of a team-oriented role there than a big aggressive AD, although he does get aggressive on it sometimes. And even a play on Urgot here as Vici take away the Rek'Sai and Nautilus. We talk about people banning out Dandy. EDG no bans this game.
Yeah, exactly right. And Rek'Sai is still extremely strong. I like what she does to the late game junglers, able to get in there, invade so much damage with the Warrior enchant coming through. And the Nautilus, support Nautilus, with the W max at level 9 is the tankiest support by far. Maybe throw Taric in there if he's ever played ever again. But just has so much utility, so much CC, and is very annoying to deal with.
And we are going to have Mako locking in the Thresh here. Pawn was flashing the Zed, but it's actually Gnar they want to go for. And Sejuani Gnar was our first experience on LPL 5.6, and EDG have quite the wombo.
Yeah, it certainly does. You throw a swap into there, and a member is going to go flying out of the team at any point. And they have a lot of catch potential with the, Urgot, with the Thresh. A lot of CC in this team already. And I want to see what Vasily plays, because if I'm looking at this team, I'm thinking they're going to be real hard to kill, but I need to be able to get away from them.
It's beautiful red side drafting from EDG as well, because that Urgot's still a flexi. You have to think Pawn can absolutely play it. Def probably can as well. So VG still don't really know what's going on. It's a big difference in these lanes. As a result, they play extremely safe with their picks, and it's Siva Lulu is the last two.
Yeah, and just by flashing an assassin gets the Lulu out. So, yes, it'll go a long way to save Vasily, but do they have enough damage? I don't know if they do, because that's a really tanky lineup so far.
We'll see what they want to go for, but it's very tanky on the EDG side. You're right. Vici fairly tanky as well, actually. I mean, Siva being the odd one out. Wild Growth can make anyone into a tank, but EDG going to consider their last pick here. Not too much longer. They are flashing some control mages right now, and they lock in Morgana.
Yeah, so Morgana is the pickup for Pawn. Going to just look to shove in the Lulu repetitively.
This comp is really interesting. So we'll start on the Vici side, because I guess it makes a little bit more sense of what we're seeing right now. Solid top laner, utility mid laner here. Bit of carry potential in some other places there. Siva Nautilus Rek'Sai, great combo in there as well. But what are EDG doing?
Yeah, so EDG is just going for Wombo at this point. They've got, I guess, the really obvious one, Gnar, as well as the Morgana. Being able to layer those CC is going to make it very hard. They've got the catch potential to come through as well, but I said that the Vici lineup lacked a little bit of damage. You throw a Morgana into the mid lane. If you miss that bind, of course, you're going to lack a lot of damage on EDG's side.
I mean, here are the matchups. We've got Hecarim there versus Gnar. Rek'Sai versus Sejuani coming through for the jungle. And we're going to keep going through these champions. They're all fairly tanky. That's the theme.
Yeah, they're all really tanky. Hitong versus Pawn with the Lulu versus the Morgana. That's much more of a pushing control matchup. Try and help the rest of the match. Siva versus Urgot. This one can go either way. If you can shove in early, do some good things to the Urgot. It's all up to the supports, I think. Nautilus versus Thresh, they do very similar things, and I want to see who gets the upper hand.
I mean, if Deft can carry on Urgot, I don't even know anymore how to feel about anything, because that would just be amazing. But EDG picked a super CC heavy comp, very execution heavy, lots of finesse required. If any team can do it, it's EDG.
Yeah, it certainly is. When we saw the Deft Blue Ezreal game, we said that comp lacked some damage, and Deft certainly proved us wrong. So if anyone can make me a believer out of a carry Urgot, it just might be him.
Yeah, and EDG, again, showing a lot of new stuff, but maybe just saying, hey, we got a lot we can play, and we'll see what they get done with it. We're going to get straight into game one. And we're onto the Rift here for our first game between Vici Gaming and Edward Gaming. And my oh my, do we have a game for you. We already talked it up. It's going to be a big series. Vici going for some interesting control, standard-ish stuff for them, I guess. Maybe the Lulu sticking out as a bit too utility-focused, but in general, EDG, they went right off the deep end into 5.6.
Yeah, they certainly did, and they've just gone for a really tanky lineup. And I like... The one thing I do like about the Morgana pickup in the mid lane is there's not much burst magic damage to break that black shield, which means that the Sejuani, the Gnar, is going to be able to get into the lineup. And pick up a lot of the CC that won't be able to go through.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm curious to see exactly how this works out. I called it execution heavy. Any heavy CC comp's often going to be like this. We've seen now Sejuani, that's the start of it. You don't even need a wall, you can just scoop them into the ultimate and line everybody up nice and perfectly. Plenty of CC here for EDG, but damage is our question, and not too sure how they're going to do, but if any team can do it, it's certainly this one.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we'll have a quick look through the starting items. We saw them flashed on the screen. The one that stands out, a bottle actually being picked up by Death. That's a crystalline flask going into the bottom lane, making sure he's nice and healthy, can survive the early onslaught, and of course, very cost efficient moving throughout the late game. He wants to go the tier, doesn't really need a longsword at the start of the game, so we'll keep him very healthy, and he'll get some good bang for his buck out of it.
I mean, so smart. Where does Urgot struggle most?
Yeah,
level 1 to 2,
level 1
right?
2, yeah.
So what does Fast do? Let you skip all that is like in the easiest way possible. Really clever stuff from Depp, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, exactly right. And look, he's not missing out any HP because Urgots generally don't go Blade anyway. They go for the Longsword 3 pot. So he's just giving up a couple of combat stats, but Mana's a huge combat stat for Urgot as well. So you can't even really say that he's thrown all of it out.
No, we are going to pop back into the game after our brief pause. You can see the Crystalline Flask there for Deft. No super surprising items other than that. Aggressive summoners in the mid lanes may be quite curious to me. So Porn and Hertong, a bit more kill pressure there with their ignites. And it is, of course, the teleports ignite, for carry. So quite aggressive for the summoners across the board, in fact.
Yeah, the one that surprised me is actually Hertong's because they rely on the wild growth so much in this composition. And there's not much kill potential that will come through from the Lulu. I'm just really surprised that he hasn't got maybe a barrier, even a cleanse. Because if he gets chain CC'd, not able to get that ultimate off in one of the important team fights in the mid game, it's going to hurt his team a lot versus how much, I guess, work he's going to get out of that ignite.
Yeah, and really curious to see the level 1, of course. I imagine we might look for standard lanes, but VG have already started their swap. They've got Nautilus and Sivir in towards the top side, so want to get away from that Urgot. Yeah,
they want to get away from the Urgot, and all of a sudden, Urgot's early game looking even easier. He can just wait till level 6 and wander into the same lane. The pushing potential out of Vici might be what they're going for. Of course, Urgot doesn't push the lane very well and certainly doesn't destroy turrets like Sivir does, so maybe that's the case. Also going to turn mid into a very heavy farm lane.
I mean, it was already going to be, now isolated, going to be significantly more farmy there in the mid side, as Lulu does have some trouble. This is my big thing about Lulu. When she gets pushed in, she struggles a lot to last hit, despite the picks.
Yeah, she certainly does, and you really have to get clever how you're doing it. You have to attack minions. Oh, as the early game.
Oh, they can just go for a gank here as Marta runs in, but Pawn skilled the Black Shield at level 2 and avoids most of the follow-up.
Yeah, so avoids the follow-up. The initial damage that came down was good, and we'll be able to zone now because that the pull is there, forcing it out. So Hertong taking a little bit of control over the lane, but with the potions coming through, not going to be any lasting effect.
And we can see lots of movement towards the top side here for Vici, prepping that red buff, of course. We're going to have Sejuani's jungle already taken the 2 buffs, actually. Maybe even started on the enemy red, it looks like. That's very fast from Clearlove.
Yeah, it certainly is. Clearlove flying through that jungle, already back and got his first pickup. Koro, he's been spotted out there, needs to be careful and make sure he's not collapsed on because there is a very nice ward. That was dropped by Mata. And Mata has shown that he is still king at keeping control of vision.
Oh, Tremosen's going to find Clearlove. That's the wrong bush to walk through. Gets knocked up there. CC'd for days. Does flash, but Mata follows in. Dredgeline in as well. And first blood goes to Hecarim.
Yeah, Hecarim able to pick up first blood as well as the blue buff. That is such good news. Also, we'll make sure that they don't have the Raptor camp. All of a sudden, Pawn has to cheat towards the bottom side of the map, cannot go anywhere near the top side jungle.
Yeah, thankfully for Koro, already level 2, so I believe EDG aggressively went towards Vici's red side of the jungle, of course, with the swap, it makes sense. Koro didn't lose too much here, but with a Doran's Blade especially, going to struggle a bit, just has to follow Sejuani for a round a little bit, maybe even does the Krugs here on the bottom side.
Yeah, maybe tries to get in there, and Pawn, he's been caught out.
Yeah, more aggression again, still fine, does have the flash, Black Shield I think still up as well. Morgana very safe here, but lots of pressure being put in this mid lane.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Koro, he's pulled that baby Krug away from his mama, isolated that one, takes it out. So he's having an okay time in this jungle, not going to be anywhere near as successful as the Hecarim, who was able to go back, nearly finish up a phage with that first blood. And Vici, they just played the early game better.
I mean, it's really interesting what's happened. There's so much going on, but I think I agree with you. More pressure onto Pawn. They've isolated relevant lanes. The AD carries are fine, but they're both freezing, so sort of irrelevant. Be interested to keep track of Hecarim, Nara, and the two junglers as well, because they can keep holding down Clearlove and Dandy very ahead right now. The longer it takes for Nana to get 6, the more significant an impact that has.
Yeah, well, the wins they got were the fact that Sivir got solo experience the whole time. Mata got the early gank and put some implied pressure, and that led to complete control of the topside jungle. When you look at it, EDG maybe shouldn't have forced on that side of the map because the duo lane was there, and they never had a Mako up there to try and support. So across the board, it just looked like a little bit of a misplay coupled with the fact, ooh, as Pawn's back actually gets stopped there. He wanted to get out of the lane, maybe go back and pick up an early Fiendish Codex. And Carry, he's been caught.
Yeah, Mako going to flash forward. Great play. Ignite down as a hook lands straight on there. And Clearlove, he'll get that one.
Yeah, so exact same thing. Going onto the side of the map where the duo lane is, there's no reason to be down there. If you look on the minimap, Gromp is up. He has every ability to go up there, solo out the camp that he actually can do without being collapsed on. Means another early kill, but this time, EDG are going to grab an objective off it.
Yeah, Vici, it's going to cost them the Dragon. Clearlove made a mistake going into his own red side jungle and getting first blooded as a result. Carry makes the same mistake there, and Hecarim with no flash. Such an easy target, and there's the first Dragon.
Yeah, exactly right. You point out the summoner spell discrepancy. Fantastic in the late game once you have that ultimate, but before level 6, only have the E to get away, and they really made him play for it. I like the fact that EDG, sure, they gave up a little bit of early game pressure, but not willing to fall behind that fire, and they're going to continue the pressure in this bottom lane.
Yeah, again, we've seen teams pick on the Hecarim before. Mata might be the next target. Gets flayed back, grabbed up as well. Knock up there from Clearlove and the Arctic Assault, and Mata, no flash to speak of, goes down to Koro. Might even chase another one, but Carry's already under his turret.
Yeah, and this is the thing. They had the deep freeze. Greedy once again from Carry, trying to get up to the CS wave. Called in help from Mata, and Mata, he was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to get the wards into secure vision, but all the members of EDG sitting there waiting. That's a big CS going to crash against the turret. There's 3 members down there, but EDG still look like they're going. Cool. They're bringing everyone.
Yeah, teleport coming now as well. They want to tower dive. Clearlove really wants to go in, but have to be careful. Looks like Nas trying to cut off Nautilus, interestingly, is Koro going to chase out Mata. They're going to try and make it as one-sided as they can, and they will go in, but they have to be super careful. Carry going to get flayed back in. Koro going to be megging up fairly soon, but that's just for tanking. Clearlove already taking it up, but Carry does go down. Mako's taking it up. Koro flashes out, hops away there, gets hooked by Mata. Will Mako as Mata gets the next kill, but Dandy going low and just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1, but more importantly, they got rid of the top laner again, and all that experience died. So what that means, Dandy very accelerated in this game because he's been able to get a lot of free farm from this as well.
Yeah, Mako getting grabbed, but Mata still hit deft as well, but Dandy stayed in the area. Flay will keep him safe for now, but no flash left. Alive still for a second as Mata gets hooked into the turret. Clearlove, I believe, got that kill and does, and a 2-for-2 trade as so much happens.
Yeah, everything's happening right now. Supports now fall for each other. Mata had flash, but wasn't able to use it. Too much CC coming through. And Dandy at this point, probably the strongest member on the map. 25 CS, 1-0-1. He's just so rapidly accelerated. He's halfway through to 6. And the second buffs have already spawned. He's going to be able to pick up that red for himself.
Yeah, in any VG game, that's such a scary proposition. Dandy from almost any spot, even with the Cinderhulk this time, going for the tankier option we've seen from Rek'Sai on this patch as well. Able to carry a game from almost any position, and Dandy, when he's ahead, he's very scary.
Yeah, and I want to see his build after this. We've seen some crazy stuff happening, of course, with Phages being picked up after Cinderhulk and some aggressive items coming through there. I expect Pure Tank to come out here and him to be used for the disruption in that knockup, but you never know with Dandy. Sometimes he feels like carrying a game as well.
Yeah, and Koro catching up now as well. Got back to the top side, so able to get some CS and catch up to the Hecarim. Carry already has quite a fast Phage, so potential problems there in their 1v1 matchup, but Koro has a couple basic items and finally building CS back up.
Yeah, so he's able to get in there, start farming up. You see the Phage has been picked up, as you mentioned, as well as the Flask and the Boot. So Hecarim, he's also doing fine. He's 1, 2, and 2. Did get very focused on in this early game. Clearlove managed to steal away the blue buff there with the Cinderhulk, so that didn't go over to Pawn. Of course, Morgana not really going to hurt that much for it. Can wave clear relatively well. Is going for some mana. regen in the Morellonomicon early, but they're going in again. Just miss.
Good check there from Deft. Gonna get some trade damage back onto Mata now as well. With those lock-ons, big damage actually coming through, but Dandy going into the tunnel, sees actually Clearlove doing his buff and wants to force him out. Use the ulti, and no help forthcoming. Morgana might rotate in. Her tongue's actually on the wrong side of the lane, but little too afraid, and Dandy forces Clearlove out.
Yeah, so he forces him out, but I think that was a bit of a premeditated move. They need to watch out in the bottom lane because you saw the damage coming through from Urgot. He's got that Manamune finished off, and the level 3 supports didn't stand a chance. They've forced them completely out of lane. That's a lot of zoning coming through from Sivir.
Yeah, now Clearlove going to get the Scuttle Crab. That level 6 delayed significantly because of that red steel. Now Dandy going to come in onto Pawn. Finally uses his flash there with the Black Shield, and he'll get away. But Clearlove, crucially, still only level 5.
Yeah, so Clearlove hasn't got his ultimate available yet, and they might go for the dive onto Pawn here. They're pushing in. Hetong, he's run out of mana as well, but probably has enough for the Glitter Lance as well as the ultimate. And there's another member in Mata coming up. Pawn in trouble.
Yeah, Mata's coming in. Pawn already got smited though. Wild Growth does come through, but an amazing ulti from Clearlove might save him. Mata taking a turret. Clearlove actually kills Dandy. The kill will happen there, but Mata now going to get low, and Clearlove will chase back in. Is going to get the double, and Mako is here now as well. Hetong out of mana. Clearlove lanterns over in, gets them into the turret with the death sentence, and Sejuani gets a triple kill.
Triple kill for Clearlove, and this is a late game jungler, remember. The further ahead Sejuani gets, the more health she picks up. She is going to be doing so much damage with that W. Of course, being max now for the jungle clear, and wow, what a scary prospect for VCG. We already said they don't have a fantastic tank busting line. Clearlove's going to be a beast.
And let's see that against Spawn. That was beautiful.
So they commit so much through onto Pawn. They're not able to break that Black Shield. We said that's one of the problems. Mata even flashes for it. And in the end, Pawn only just falls down to the last tick of Ignite. But it doesn't matter. Clearlove was there. He was picking up the kills. You see a great Lantern into a Flay. He actually uses the Arctic Assault to get in range of the Lantern. Hooked back into the turret. It was just, that was perfect play coming through.
That was sick. Clearlove now 5-1-2 as the dust settles in. I was going to credit him for intelligent pathing and ganking, managing to just get to level 6. Then his rip-off got stolen. I was like, uh-oh, Dandy knows what to do, but got the last 2 camps, hit level 6 at the perfect time, and all of a sudden, Sejuani, who was behind, very much in front.
Yeah, exactly right. And the one thing that we talk about with Morgana is her anti-dive is so good. Black Shield's just a very good move about not getting CC, being too mobile under those turrets. The soul shackles that will come through, just absolutely a pain to be able to dive there. You throw in the fact that there's a Sejuani on the map, there's no way that you can ever dive turrets and hope to get ahead in this game if you are VCG.
Yeah, and that was just too aggressive from them here as Dragon is back available. EDG already with their first, looking potentially to pick up their second, but VCG would like to equalize that objective if possible. Mako treading very dangerously, but he'll be safe as VCG just clear out a couple of wards.
Yeah, so they're able to clear out some wards. Clearlove's ultimate is back available, not to mention the fact that the swap and the soul shackles are also there. So you have to think that in a dragon fight right now, and that's where all the wards are, EDG, very clear advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting comp here as far as spikes go, but very tanky in the late game, but lots of good pressure and CC in the mid game.
Yeah, certainly do. And the thing is that they have a lot of AoE ultimates that they have to hit to get the damage down. But if they do that, they just have the ability to wipe out all the members at this point because there's no response in death. Looks like a pretty practiced Urgot player at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's hovered it a couple times for fun. Seems to have finally picked it up as Hetong flashes out of the Soul Shackles. Clearlove was there as well, looking for a gank, looking for a pick before the Dragon, but Hetong safe for now.
Yeah, and he was just baited into thinking that his jungler would be there first. The way that Pawn moved looked like he was running away, and in the bottom, they're going in.
Yeah, Mata ulting onto Def. Lantern will get him to safety, knocks them both up though, and Dandy comes in. Mako gets hit by the dredge line, and now teleports are coming in for both top laners. Mata getting low, Mako still alive somehow. Karo, massive nah there as he comes in. Clearlove now as well. Vasily, Dandy, and Carry all in trouble as Hetong goes down, but massive damage there comes in. Now 2v3, VCG are in trouble, but Vasily will go down. Pawn's going to be the next to fall down. Clearlove can't stand up to this, has to get away.
Yeah, so they're able to turn the fight. It was all about death, not able to get tanky through that ultimate. Fell really quickly in the end. Carry got the initial teleport as well. Quicker to react than Koro, and we're going to see another frozen heart, frozen mallet. Nah, I'm really sad.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just the thing that people have been doing in solo queue in China, but Clear's going to try and get his blue away. Doesn't get it. Dandy, still the Prince of Thieves, smites it away. Dragon available, but Vici do have to back off.
Yeah, I think as we have a look at the replay, so this is really heads-up play out of Mata. You see they're already moving down river. That's a big thing. It's 2 Vici members being trailed by 2 EDG members. Then the teleport came through first. So you can see they're just beating them around the map every single point here. Unfortunately, they're just staggered in single file almost, and it gave too many easy targets to be able to prioritize here. If you remember, Horn's ultimate was also burnt in the mid lane. He's gone an aggressive build with that Morellonomicon first item and wasn't tanky enough.
Yeah, I think also awkward that Def took that Lantern, ended up knocking both of them up as well, and then flashed, which got Mako hooked. If he just flashed sideways maybe and at least split the ulti, might have been a bit easier to buy more time for his team.
Yeah, I definitely agree there, but once again, smart move out of EDG. They've brought Koro back down. Carry went back up to the top lane. Will mean the second dragon of the game will fall down, so
Dandy wants it. He's going in. Try to smite it away. Miss smites on. Koro actually gets the last hit. Now the swap going to come through. Dandy, though, wild growth as Mata dives into the back lines, but going to die there. Tries to hook Mako, but it's not enough. And a free kill there and the dragon for Edward Gaming.
Yeah, so they're able to pick up the kill. That equalizes last team fight out. Couple that with the fact that they've got 2 dragons. Now they're looking much better. Just crazy stuff happening all over the map. This is something that we complimented Vici before earlier, before the game, was the fact that they move around well as a unit. But EDG, that was just a better read, recognizing that, oh.
Geez, sick Black Shield there to got the slow, and now the Soul Shackle's going to follow through. Koro joins in. Binding lands easily, and that kill goes to Koro.
Yeah, so Koro able to pick that one up. It does mean that Def's in the lane by himself, but if there's anyone that can 2v1 as an AD carry, it is going to be the Urgot. Very hard to dive that guy as well.
And he's powered up massively here. Brutalizer, Manamuna looking good. Vasily apparently doesn't want to spell shield those E's there. So he keeps getting queued in. Dandy though finds a knock up. Def maybe a little too aggressive. Will look to go down, and Dandy gets the kill.
Yeah, so Dandy able to pick that one up. This is a crazy game pastry time. Everyone just wants to fight whenever they can. Mid turret falls down, and at 17 minutes, that's a very early turret. Bottom turret will fall, so it will be evened up and extremely close throughout the map. Different power in different areas. You'd have to say Carry probably carrying the majority of the gold, but Clearlove 7-1 and 4 on this Sejuani. Has 2 items finished already.
Yeah, I was going to say, has the frozen item you actually like here? Frozen Heart, very quickly picked up here by Clearlove. We talk about the scaling for Sejuani and how strong she gets when she does get her items. All of a sudden, Clearlove is highly accelerated.
Yeah, I definitely love the build coming through here because he's always going to be in range for that aura to affect both Carry and Vasily. So he's going to get very good gold efficiency out of that. Not going to really affect the Rek'Sai as we see blue buffs being handed off to Hatong, but also just helps with all the tankiness. Really probably the most gold efficient item he could have picked up at that point.
Yeah, Morellonomicon's there as well actually for both of the mid laners. So nice and aggressive there. Sorkshu's also mirrored and Pawn up a Negatron cloak here. So possibly a quick Abyssal Scepter for super cost efficient Morgana build.
Yeah, but I don't like the Abyssal Scepter pickup. All he's against is really Hatong in the magic damage department. Zhonya's Hourglass makes so much more sense for me as they go in again.
Yeah, Dandy here as well. Def gonna die almost as he comes in, and Vasily actually just gets it with Martha. Dandy not even needed.
Yeah, they absolutely blew him up there. They've got the Infinity Edge and some extra crit on Vasily, and he completely tore him apart.
I mean, Dandy has been sneaking in some nice tunnels as well. I mean, Rek'Sai Ultimate not often a global, but Dandy's put some really smart spots down and able to get in there. No major objectives, I guess, for Vici apart from the one turret might be the thing, but Vasily starting to push. This turret may fall.
Yeah, and they did it through a very good show from Mata, pushing through into the mid lane, making sure they had to walk all the way around. Carry joined them as well, and they get a tier 2 at this point in the game. Also managed to sneak a 400 gold advantage.
Yeah, and Vici's recent wins have certainly come from strong and very clever rotations. And that one in the bottom lane, getting that tier 2 turret nice and early and getting the gold lead for themselves, that's the Vici we've been seeing recently.
Yeah, exactly right. They're just able to move around the map as a unit and really get power in numbers as a team. Koro, he's finished up his Frozen Mallet. He's looking to push in on that turret. Couple of headbutts coming through. Not really going to do much, but he is able to get... Ooh, he took turret aggro. I was going to say that would have cost carry 2 CS there, which is a pretty sneaky play coming through. But, ooh, Hatong.
Yeah, Tong getting ulted. Pawn going to line up the Binding. Mako's here as well. Binding gets flashed, but Pawn nails it still. Marta's here now as Dandy, but Hatong will go down. Rek'Sai will turn in for the fight as Mako trying to peel them off. Dandy getting low. He's the focus here from EDG. Gets bound up by Pawn again. Vasily's here though. Might be able to play clean up and carry over the top on the Pawn. Gonna give Vasily the first kill. Koro though now in the mix is Clearlove. Another double kill. Mako plays back carry. Koro on top of him. Clearlove gets the triple. Look at it go down there. Vasily goes in. Massive wallop in the Nara ulti and they clean up the ace.
So they're able to come through with an ace just as 20 minutes hits the game. And we know this is a fight-heavy region, but my God, this early game has been completely insane. Clearlove able to sneak away with his life. 10, 1, and 6, 16 of 17 kill participation has been absolutely everywhere.
And you know what? I would normally say don't give your kills to the jungle, but I actually think he scales the best on his team.
He just went back and bought an outright Randuin's Omen. Let's check it out again. So they go in, they get a really good catch onto Hatong. This is a bad flash. He just flashes perpendicular to the wall. The Binding was always going to hit. Marta's able to get in there with Dandy, and I thought after Pawn burned his ultimate on one, this might go horribly wrong because Dandy, he just does so much consistent damage, but never underestimate the power of AP Morgana's bind. In the end, it was a good collapse coming through from VCG. They look like they could turn it around, but this is a 4v5 ace. That's what you got to remember. Urgot, meanwhile, just bottom lane, and it's all about how strong Clearlove is. He was in and out of that fight 3 times, able to survive in the end, and he's a beast.
And Koro's timing just ulted after Spell Shield got dissipated. Don't even know what hit it, but Koro managed to time the ultimate perfectly to save Clearlove. And at 10, 1, and 6, you probably want to save the Sejuani.
You certainly do. He's got a massive shutdown. The bounty is only increasing. It's probably up to 500 already if we're getting realistic. And at this point in the game, I actually don't know what kills him anymore. He's got 200-ish armor. He's got probably 3k health as well. He's a very tanky man, and Mata, you have been caught.
Yeah, Mata in trouble. Pawn actually flashing away, wants to go in towards carry, trying to peel them off. They're getting caught here as Simba pop the ulti. Wild Breath there for a massive knocker, but a good ulti from Clearlove gets them safe. Now Koro going to dive in. Mata taking too much damage. Dandy will fall next as well, and Koro still chasing in. Def swaps Hatong back in as Koro solos out Vasily. Kill going to happen, and another ace.
An ace for 2 this time. This time a full 5v5, but the exact same result coming through for EDG. Dominant throughout the entirety of this map, and this is what's really worrying about this team. They're so good in lane. They make pretty smart decisions most of the time, and their team fighting is just way too good.
Yeah, it's out of this world as EDG going to get the dragon. Clearlove's dead, but a third dragon still will be there for Edward Gaming, and Lockyer completed there for Mako. They're so team fight ready at just such an absurdly early stage of the game.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, VCG's got some really good power spikes of their own. The Trinity Force as well as the Home Guards. We saw how much damage Carry was able to do. Even Dandy, his build's pretty accelerated for this point in the game. He's ridiculously strong. But you just compare it to exactly where their counterpoints are. Now Pawn, he's settled for the Negatron. He's going towards his Zonya's Hourglass. All the armor pen done for death now. He's only just going to go into tanky items, and they're just way too big. We take a look at how this goes. They actually look like they had Marta caught out, but a great flank from Carry into a 5-man ultimate. A 4-man actually, Nas about to come in, meant that the fight started well, but from there it was just all about Sejuani. 3-man ulti, sitting in the middle of everyone with her W on. Gets swapped on top of the Hatong, who was able to pick up the shutdown kill, but Deft able to pick up a parting kill of his own, and they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, Clearlove not happy with that death. I think wanted to keep the record as clean as possible. That will hurt his Sejuani KDA, which before that death was right up there with his Lee Sin KDA. Pawn then nails the binding onto Carry, just a bit of trade damage. Zonya's already completed, so he's got the Negatron Cloak early. Didn't even finish a major item with it, even if, I'm not sure if that's what he wanted to do, but has the Zonyas now due to a lot of extra gold. Carry actually gets bound, but does take the tower out. No extra people, so he will be safe here. But items still coming through for VCG and EDG. A pretty substantial lead, about 4,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, they've got a pretty big lead for this point in the game. They're also just got gold onto weird members at this point. So Pawn, he's not that far ahead. If you check out, probably only about 1,000 gold ahead. Whereas in a normal EDG game, you would expect that to be much more. But Sejuani versus Rek'Sai. That's no completed items on Rek'Sai versus 2 completed 3.
Yeah, I mean,
just crazy.
Matching Cinderhawks and then 2 massive items there for Clillov to mostly components there for Dandy. So a huge lead here, and it's very weird to talk about. First of all, Clillov carrying games in general, but he certainly has this season, especially on Lee Sin. But he almost is the main carry of this team, Colm.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I think that late game he does the most damage, which is weird. But we'll have to see how it works out as Mata just dodges out of a bind. They're going to abandon this siege. That's one thing their team comp does absolutely horribly, which is weird to say with 4 ranged members, is they cannot siege at all. All about the team fights.
Yeah, 2 short range. Have to force VCG to fight them. Have been able to do so with the 3 dragons that they've gotten here. No Baron looked at yet, but of course a potential objective. Baron damage actually not too bad on EDG.
Yeah, EDG have pretty good Baron damage coming through there. Of course, Def, he'll be able to spam on top of it. You have to remember the W's coming through from the tanks, the Hyper, as well as Sejuani. They're going to absolutely rip through Baron, which is a strange thing to say for 2 tanky
I mean, this game is weird as far as damage goes. EDG picked a very tanky, very unique, but I guess very flavorful for the patch cop as Def loses the Scuttle Crab bidding wall there to Dandy, who had his smite handy ready to go.
Yeah, he cheated.
He did cheat. As Manko looks around as well, Def will move in, and we've got some trinkets coming through.
Yeah, we actually, so we see a lot of upgraded trinkets coming through, but we saw the gold quickly, and it was Clearlove with a 10,000 gold. He's the highest on his team by a long way, as Pawn was able to pick that one up. So he's 1,000 gold clear of anyone on his team. So you were talking about him being the main carry. That's definitely the case.
And Clearlove hanging out on the top side of the map. Carry has gone off on a very long journey towards the enemy base, but he should be able to wrap around, be safe, as Dandy will come in to protect him. Very strange spot for him to be, but he does get out of a super sticky situation.
Yeah, so he was pushing very far up, and the collapse came through, and he did what was probably the only option to save his life, was go even deeper into enemy territory than he already was. Of course, the EDG ward's pretty much non-existent at this point. Mata and Dandy done a good job of being able to clear them out.
And I mean, it's without Sightstone for Dandy, which has been the most impressive thing for VCG. I mean, early on in the split, we see a lot of Sightstone for Dandy, and I think that was almost too many wards here. So still doing a great job. Everyone pitching in. You see 2 pink wards in the inventory for VCG now as well, as Vasily actually just puts his one down. QSS now done for Siva, plus the 3 damage items. Rabadon's here for Hatong with a spare blasting one. They're behind, but not too far behind.
Yeah, they certainly are able to string together some very important items, and I guess the fact that a lot of the gold is on Vasily will do this team comp very good things, because we said if anyone's going to be able to tear through people, it probably is a Siva. The QSS a really important pickup there, but the lack of boots too is a little bit worrying at this point of the game. Probably needs some movement speed to be able to get away as well. And we mentioned how good their vision control was. 50 seconds before Dragon on cue. EDG happy to clear them all out.
Yeah, double upgraded sweep is helping out a ton there. So Clearlove using a lot of that gold that he's gotten for, you know, team-oriented reasons, which is always nice to see. Builds developing. No Corey with a Randuin's now to join his Frozen Heart. And Muramana plus the last Whisper and now a Glacial Shroud dump for Def. So big on his build now as well. Good damage for the Urgot at this stage. Going to probably just move in towards Tanky. See a teleport here for Corey. EDG are going for this dragon.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Corey, he's running real quick, trying to look for Vasily.
Just needs one auto. Going to find Vasily. Randuin's pop on top of his head, and Frozen Mallet going to keep him CC'd for a while. Corey knocks him into the wall. Wall up there, plus the play. Pawn over the top there. Vasily does get wild growth, and Pawn goes down. Can't click his Zonya's button. Corey getting low there. Mata going to go down. Corey flashes just at the edge to get himself away, but Def taking too much damage. Clearlove trying to do enough. But that's a double kill there and a 3-for-1 win for VCG.
Yeah, VCG somehow get away with it, and it was because Pawn did not Zonya's. The second tick of the Soul Shackles not going up. It's cost them Dragon, but it also cost them a huge team fight. Only 1,000 gold now, complimenting how well they were playing this mid-game. All of that's back to square.
Yeah, and VCG, we talked about the big items that were coming through. Made a good use of them in that last little exchange, and EDG now going to wander in towards the Baron, or just Clearlove at this point as Koro running back as well. VCG on top of it. Clearlove might be able to line up a steal though.
Yeah, it certainly would be a very tempting offer to come through for the Sejuani. They're looking to zone him well. Oh, there's a lot of members already respawned. This is bad news.
Clearlove's really tanky here. Tong's forced to flash away. Clearlove will get a blue buff for it. Baron still not dead. Clearlove finally goes down. Koro comes back in. Mata on top of the Baron for some reason. But now Mako's going to come in. Koro somehow still alive. Pawn goes in. Nails carry as Mako gets credit for that kill. Now with the black shield on him, Na goes forward. Vasily doesn't need the spell shield, but popped it just in case. And EDG keep VCG off the Baron.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they're pinging out Mata. Thresh comes through for the cutoff. They will be able to catch up to him here. He's definitely going to go down, and that might even mean that Edward Gaming now feel confident to start up a Baron of their own.
Mako, be careful. Ulti there from Mata. Dandy in as well, but Pawn going to go in. Dandy might get himself killed, but Vasily going massive. Gets two. Going to try and make it three. Nails the binding, but it's onto Dandy and Pawn. Zon is but not going to live. A triple kill for Sivir is now. Deft is in here going after Dandy. No Qs in range, though, and VCG have to back off again.
And Deft's pathing there was honestly bad. He ran the completely wrong way, then ran back around to try and get in range. Was a non-factor throughout the entirety of the fight, and it really hurt his team. Not having the most impressive game on Urgot, of course, has a very cheap item build and is finished up the 4 items, but Sivir just doing so much more.
Yeah, Banshee's on Clearlove now as well. Really scaling up. We do see the Abyssal finished on Pawn, and I know you mentioned it as far as defensive stats, maybe not great against VCG, but offensively, especially with the Sedge, seems quite good.
Yeah, offensively, very good item there, and of course Abyssal is always going to be cost effective. I would like to see him go for Mercury Treads here. I just think that with Abyssal, with Mercury Treads, you become a lot tankier in the mid game, and with the rise of support Nautilus, I am so surprised we haven't seen more Merc Treads come out. He's just got so much CC in his kit. Even his auto attack, it's just so important to be able to break that to not get caught out. I think that they're probably the most under-purchased item in the League of Tanks to come through.
I mean, that's fair, I think, as EDG trying to protect their blue buff, it seems. The VCG have pulled it away, but they'll get away from it. Hit Pawn should be able to collect it as Koro just babysitting the buff, trying to keep that rage low as it's quite high right now. If they want to look for a fight, of course, he can build that back up. Pawn will get the blue here, as we'll take that away with the help of Mako. And Baron's still up here. EDG have to run all the way back over.
Yeah, so once again, VCG, fantastic objective control. They're able to have a monopoly on vision on that side of the map, and once again, EDG just forced to clear everything out. They pick up the Scuttle Crab to VCG. Now they get a free recall, go back, spend some of that gold, and their team comp, honestly, in the late game is starting to scale up very nicely. We wondered what it was going to do, but they've just navigated a really tricky spot, and now Sivir, she's in her sweet area.
Yeah, I mean, they have a big traditional AD carry. I mean, EDG have good tools against Sivir, but there are a couple more threats, I guess, on VCG. It's weird team comps for both teams here, but EDG especially basically just have 5 tanks.
Yeah, they certainly do, and a really good Prey Seeker coming through there, spots out the potential gank brush. They're not going to go anywhere near that because they have the Scuttle Crab. They don't need a phase check it at this point.
No, going to have to wait that out. EDG, Dandy, very tanky. Double Giant's belt in that inventory right now.
Yeah, I absolutely love that pickup just because of the fact that Cinderhulk with flat health is so good. So if you've got the gold for it, why not go back and pick it up? It's just so... We talk about Name thrift shopping. Just bang for buck, and that's what you need to do when you're behind, is get every little bit out of your item build, is exactly what he's going for.
Probably slightly more improved than Luca's Double Warden's mail from earlier this evening, but going to be 2 strong items. In fact, Dandy's already got his Randuin's there, so just an extra Giant's belt hanging out for whichever item he decides he wants next. Vasily getting massive now, putting in for a Bloodthirster. On this side, by pushing in aggressively, VCG doing a good job keeping the Baron as their main objective.
Yeah, they certainly are, and Koro, he's up in the top lane. Bottom lane, he has his teleport available, also has his flash just coming off cooldown. I think that's a really important cooldown to keep an eye on. But I'm going to come back to it. The Frozen Mallet pastry time, I really don't like it. It just means that the point of the game that they were strong, he wasn't tanky enough to be able to dive in there with Clearlove. They were nearly running a solo tank just because of that pickup. And I feel it just hurt him a little bit too much. I don't understand what it does in teamfight. I understand it as a 1v1 item against the Hecarim, but I just don't think it wins that lane hard enough to warrant it as a team fighting item.
Yeah, Fade, you know, Sims, Fung's seen a lot of aggressive faders on both Hecarim and Nara. Actually love that pickup there. But, you know, if you want to get the Frozen Mallet, maybe just pick it up later. Don't get it as your 4th, 5th, 6th item. Maybe you don't get it as your first item.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and it looks like VCG now looking for a team fight.
Yeah, they're going to go in. They're going to find Deft, actually. That's a good target. He goes down almost instantly. Koro coming in with a port. Does actually not think better of it. He's in Mega Knight form soon. Gets Dandy and Vasily into the wall. Clearlove zoning them away as Koro trying to zone off the rest of VCG. Mata getting low, but now Clearlove's going to be the target. Gets hooked up and knocked off Vasily. Flashes over the top. Pawn trying to get in, but getting zoned out completely. Carry takes him out on the Hecarim, and that's 2 kills for 0.
Yeah, and we questioned where the late game damage was going to come through with the Morgana pickup. If she doesn't hit the perfect Soul Shackles, there's just not enough, and this will mean that Baron goes across to VCG unless something miraculous happens from Clearlove.
There's a ward in the back there. Clearlove's going to try and make it happen. Lantern goes in, happens, gets the steal, and Lantern's out. Dandy going to try and chase him, but Clearlove nails it.
Yeah, Clearlove able to come up with the hero play, and against Dandy, boy, that's impressive. They're even rotating down to fight for the next dragon now. A little bit of swag in his step, and why not? He was able to pick it up.
He's going to have Smite. He actually has a backup already. Dandy's like, please, not again. I can't handle this. Koro moving back in. Needs some rage though for Silly. Wild Growth aggressively. Def going to go in. Can he find the swap target? Hook there does land onto Dandy, but they're just peeling away at this point. Clearlove still going in. Vasily pops his ulti. Koro round the side there. Vasily gets swapped in. Clearlove gets a tong. Vasily going to go down as well. Double kill for Clearlove. Mata comes in. Dandy gets low and goes down. Carry tries to get Mako, but will just get him, but goes down for it. A 4-for-2 win for EDG and another dragon.
Yeah, so they're able to pick up the dragon. That will be number 4, and maybe number 5 is the damage that they need. This is a crazy game. They're able to get another team fight. It was all about the fact that Def finally was able to get a good swap target. Even just the fact that the stun came through at the start of it. He's pushing in for a turret. Always amusing watching Urgot take this because, of course, no attack speed means he doesn't do anything to them.
Well, 4th Dragon going to help him in that department at least. Will be able to get the turret there. 4-for-4 now as EDG. Equal out of that much, and maybe it is the 5th Dragon, the Clearlove carry strat. Get the 5th Dragon, smite the Grump, and you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly right, Grump. Just the damage on this patch, that's where it's really at, the Grump buff coming through.
I mean, this game is silly at this point, but in the best way possible for a top-of-the-table clash here. VCG versus EDG, it's going to be a long one, folks. Settle in here as Dandy might spot out Koro. Collapsing the tunnel, though, is Nah. Dandy bit of counter jungling, very aggressive. Koro gonna find him, Frozen Mallet. Nope, just wants his Krugs and gets them both.
Yeah, so able to pick up the Krugs there. Actually leaves it counter jungled for his own jungler. He didn't get the last auto attack off, and he's not clearing it out. Boy, if I'm Clearlove, I'm yelling at Koro to go clear that can.
Look at Dandy coming back in. Finds the baby Krug. No, just sets up a trap instead. He sees the Krug moving. He knows it's there. Does he want
Base
it?
race is on pastry time.
I mean, that's not good to race this team if you're EDG. VCG with a real AD carry. Much better at that. We talked about Urgot not being good at pushing. VCG face tanking turrets here, but they will get it.
Yeah, able to pick it up. And wow, with how tanky Dandy is at this point in the game, they can face tank for days. And now the call is being made to continue to go mid. But half their team's in base.
I mean, they're going to get some sort of weird staggered flank here potentially, but VCG are going to cut EDG straight through the middle. Turret does fall somehow to Urgot. Said one in, Clearlove goes in, massive 3-man ulti, finds on Tomato, hook lands, and there's the first kill. Koro diving into the backline, building up rage, and they're just going to keep going. Vasily trying to cut away, massive now there, gets on the tongue and carry. Dandy flashes into a binding. Def going to snipe him with the acid on top, and a 4-for-0 win for EDG.
Yeah, and that was just an amazing ultimate out of Clearlove. Mata tried to tank it up, but it hit 3 members still. And when they're all CC'd like that, Pawn certainly does some damage with the pull, with his ultimate coming through. They'll push in, maybe get the first inhibitor. I don't know if it's enough to get the game, but there's still 25 seconds on most members. They might just go for it.
They're going to try at least here. Not the best siege here, but they'll take the pressure. They've got 4 dragons, so these structures fall relatively quickly. Def does not have his ulti, but it's up very soon. Vasily trying to cut away, but it's a binding, goes down there. As Sejuani gets another kill in this game. Pawn working on the turret, Koro headbutting it in depth, doing what he can. Swap someone back in, Mata goes down, Ace gets completed, her tongue's back in as well. Can they keep going? Rolling aces, but it doesn't matter. EDG finish the game.
Yeah, EDG managed to pull off the win. Well played by VCG. They certainly came back, but EDG, weird team comp, weird game, pick up another win. I don't know why I'm surprised at all.
Well, I don't know what they can't play at this point.